What's up, guys? It's your boy Blam Spot. We're back with another banger, guys. Today we're doing the Blox fruit tier list. Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Yo, I'm with my friend here. He is a Blox Fruits pro. I know I got a lot of hate from other tier list guys, but don't worry, man. We are bringing the heat this time, so let's get it. All right, let's start off with the barrier fruit.
More of offensive PvP and PvE wise, it's not bad. I'd say its damage range is pretty good. Isn't terrible, and offense it's not terrible either. I'd say probably C tier.
Okay. Bomb fruit S tier, right? Yeah. No. Oh, okay.
Bomb tier is about. It's not bad PvP wise. It's not bad PvE wise. It's not bad either. The only problem with it is its moves don't do all that much damage, and that's really about it. But I'd say around B tier. Yeah.
Okay.
Buddha's good for PvE. PvP wise, it's not very all that good. If we're talking about Awakening, I'd say it's pretty good in both categories. However, PvE is where it shines the most. So I'd say probably B tier. Yeah.
All right. Chop fruit.
Chopped fruit isn't that bad. It's the only problem with chopped fruit in PvE is that you won't encounter too many mobs with swords. So it's in terms of how useful it becomes as you level up isn't that good. However, in PvP, that's a different situation. As you level up, most people you probably main swords. It's not bad. I'd say for both, I'd probably say C tier. I mean B tier.
Cool. All right. Next one.
Right. Control isn't bad. It's pretty high value. It's not terrible. However, it's mainly subject to ground PvP, and as most people know, in combat, your Blox Fruits combat, most of the time you'll be in the air because it's easier to dodge things. You become less vulnerable in situations. It's the only thing they taught. It's decent in PvE, but I'd say it's probably like C tier. Alright, Dark Fruit. Dark Fruit's pretty good, both awakened and unawakened in terms of PvP and PvE, but in PvP I'd say it's where it shines the most, mainly because of its ability to grab and suck people in. And no homo. But yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. So I'd say A tier. Alright, Diamond. Diamond isn't terrible in PvP nor PvE. I'd say its damage drain isn't bad. Its ability isn't bad either to increase yourself with diamonds. It's not terrible. I'd say probably C tier. Yeah. Now Door. Alright. Door isn't very a good fruit. It's in PvP you won't see anybody using it, mainly because its moves aren't viable for PvP. However, in PvE it might do some good in that, mainly because of its ability to travel to other islands quickly and its ability to travel things with uncostly to say the least. But its moves, it's just not that viable in PvP nor PvE, so I'd say probably D tier. Yeah, those S. Its stamina drain, its abilities, its mobility, pretty good. Dragon, I'd say, yeah, Dragon S tier. No.
All right. Next one.
Falcon, not bad. I'd say. Its ability to, its moves aren't bad. I'd say, but stamina drain isn't bad. Damage isn't terrible, but I'd say probably like C tier. It's not that viable all the time. Now Fire Flame. Flame is really good. It's a really good fruit. Its moves are really good, both awakened and unawakened, both in PvP and in PvE. This is because it's got a fly, it's got damage, it's got burn, it's got everything you could want, as a starter fruit. But later on, as you progress into the levels, it's probably not going to be that viable. But yeah, I'd say probably A tier.
Got you.
Gravity, it's kind of atrocious, both in really every aspect of the game. Trading, PvE, PvP, it's just not that good. So D tier. Ice. Alright, so Ice, it's pretty good. It's AoE, it's a mobility, it's both unawakened and awakened, it isn't terrible. But if you're going to be doing PvP and PvE both, you should probably awaken the fruit better. You should probably awaken it, mainly because its mobility becomes increased and its damage, same with its AoE and moves in general. Stamina drain isn't terrible as well, so but it's pretty good. I'd say A tier.
Gotcha. Kilo fruit.
Kilo is just not viable for both PvE or PvP. There are some circumstances where it should be viable and it would be viable, but the problem is a lot of the times you won't catch times where that is viable and that time is actually there. So I'd say probably D tier.
All right, light fruit. I know that one's pretty good.
Yeah, light fruits, yes, it's pretty good. I'd say probably like A tier because as you level up into PvE, it just becomes not very viable.
Gotcha.
Alright. Love fruit isn't bad. It's kind of one of those fruits that you rarely see anybody using, but in reality, it's really good. And if you know how to use some combos with it, it's pretty good. Set things up, it's pretty good. However, the only problem is its damage kind of lacks, and its cooldowns kind of lack too. So I'd say probably like B tier.
Ooh.
Oh, let me switch.
All right.
Let's see. Magma. Magma fruit isn't bad. Its awakening is where it shines the most. It's whenever it's unawakened, you won't catch anybody using it, mainly because its damage isn't, like I said, damage awakened and unawakened isn't bad. But if you're like go for PvP and PvP, it's probably best if you go for awakened. But with that being said, both circumstances, the damage isn't bad, mobility isn't terrible. It could be better, but the mobility isn't terrible. The damage and AoE is pretty good. It is there, and the stamina drain is pretty good too. So I put Magma A tier. Yeah.
Ooh, the pawpaw fruit. I think that's what this is.
Yeah, Paw's pretty good. It's one of those fruits that is mainly for PvP. You will never catch anybody in PvE using it in some circumstances. They probably don't know what they're doing, but that's really besides the point. But Paw's pretty good, yeah, for both PvE and PvP. So I'd say probably A tier. Oh yeah, but it's kind of expensive, so that's kind of the downside. It lacks.
Gotcha. All right, Phoenix.
Phoenix isn't bad. Its healing ability isn't bad. Its damage isn't terrible, but the only problem with Phoenix is its stamina drain, and that comes with its healing. The healing is good, but the problem is its healing takes so much stamina, and in PvP and both PvE and PvP, you're gonna need stamina to perform other moves and perform other actions. So it's probably best if you do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'd say probably B tier.
All right. Next up, this is
Quake.
Quake.
Yep. Quake isn't bad. Quake is its awakened is where it shines the most as most fruits, but when it's unawakened, it isn't bad, but you probably don't want to use it both in PvP and PvE, mainly because its damage lacks. Its AoE isn't terrible, but the problem comes when the cooldowns are so slow, in which they are. So it's just slow damage. Its mobility is kind of atrocious. It's not a very good fruit. But awakened, that's a different thing. But awakened is really good. So I'd say probably like A tier.
A tier. Let's go. All right, the horror fruit.
The revive, yes. Revive isn't bad. It's more of a PvE. It's not really all that good in PvE. You probably catch people using it in PvP more, mainly because it's a single type. Its damage isn't terrible. Its lifesteal isn't terrible either. But it's not really a fruit that you'd probably want to be in PvP or PvE in. So I'd say probably like B tier.
Gotcha.
Gum,
yeah.
Yep. Gum isn't really all that good, mainly because its moves are mainly close to medium range, and both in PvE and PvP, you probably don't want to catch yourself close to any of the hostile enemies. So I'd say probably like D tier.
Gotcha. Next up,
Rumble. All right. Rumble isn't bad. Its awakening is pretty good, and its unawakening isn't. Whenever it's unawakened, it's not bad. Its awakening is also pretty good. So I'd say probably like A tier, mid A tier. Yeah, I'd say
Mid A
mid A
tier.
tier.
All right.
Mhm.
Sand.
Sand.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Awakening is pretty good. It's not terrible. Whenever it's unawakened, it's kind of useless. But yeah, I'd say probably like C tier.
Cool.
Shadow. All right. Shadow isn't bad. Shadow's pretty good, both for mobility PvP, PvE, all those good stuff, and in trading as well. If you're looking for that. But in all circumstances, it's pretty good. Its moves are viable for both PvE and PvP, but in PvP is where it shines mainly because of its damage, lifesteal, and mobility overall. But it's a pretty good fruit overall. So I'd say probably high S tier.
High S tier. Wow.
I mean, not high S tier. High A tier.
That's gonna say. Okay. All right. Next up.
Oh, smoke. All right.
Okay.
Smoke is just not a good food overall. But I'd probably put it in D tier.
All right. The new one.
Yep, the
Soul
new
fruit.
one. Soul fruit's pretty good. It's kind of hard to get at the moment unless you get real lucky
Mhm.
with drops or anything. But it's kind of hard to get. But it's not bad overall. Once you do get it, it's probably a decision you won't regret, mainly because its damage is good, its abilities are good. However, the only problem comes with PvP in the air, which is in most circumstances where it'll take place PvP. But even so, then if you catch your opponent lacking, it's there. The damage is there. The damage is good. Mobility, it's got a fly. Yeah, it's got range to it. It's good. I'd say probably S tier. Yeah.
Is it better than Dragon or Do though?
I'd say probably better than Dragon, and I say this mainly because Dragon kind of lacks if you manage to get above the opponent in its transformation, and even so, then in air combat, Dragon is kind of atrocious. But I'd say not better than though.
Gotcha. All right. This is Spike.
Okay, Spike. It's not a very good fruit in both PvP and PvE. It's AOE. Its damage kind of lacks in all categories, so I'd put it in D tier.
D tier. All right. Next one, the helicopter fruit.
Yep. All right.
This one's funny.
It's not a bad fruit.
Just mobility though. That's basically it.
Just mobility. I'd say D tier.
D tier, yeah. All right. Spring.
Spring isn't.
Yeah. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Spring isn't a bad fruit. Its moves aren't terrible if you're mainly using swords or anything of the sort. Mainly because Spring is more of a mobility fruit,
Mhm.
but this mobility is kind of atrocious even so. Then, but I'd say probably like D tier.
All right. String. I know String's really good.
Yeah, String is pretty good. Its damage is there, stamina is there, but the only problem is it's got kind of a wind up, and so it's kind of hard to deal with when you're facing people with String. It's not bad, like I said, the damage is there, the AOE is there, but the problem is it takes a while for the move to start up, and
Mhm.
once it does start up, you're just kind of standing there. And it's not bad. I'd say probably like A tier.
Where in the A tier?
Probably like mid A tier.
Cool. Venom.
Right now, Venom is good in really all categories. It's good in PvP, PvE, and just all sorts of things because of its value is really high. It's not too hard to get if you come across the right person who's not over pressing it. But it's not bad. It's damage. It's mobility. It's pretty simple to level up to if that comes to that.
Mhm.
Mainly because it's damage and mobility, but yeah, it's pretty good. I'd say A tier.
A tier. All right. So let's go through the order. Is there anything you want to change in the A tier, or are you gonna get a lot of hate in the comments?
Probably, yeah, but actually no, Venom I'd put the S tier.
Venom in S tier. All right.
But other than that, I think I'd keep everything the same.
You like the order? Or you want to change the order at all? In the A tier?
The A tier. Yeah, okay, probably Flame right behind Shadow.
Okay.
And that seems Rumble. I put Rumble in front of Light. Yeah. Ice. I'd put Ice in front of String. Yeah, I'd put String as at back. Yeah. That seems to be good.
All right, B tier.
B tier. I'd put Bomb behind Love. But yeah, I think that's all good.
Okay. C tier. Probably doesn't really matter
C-
much.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, thank you so much for helping with this tier list. And guys, this is our opinion. So let me know in the comments down below what you would change. And yeah, catch you on the next one. Bland Spot out. Peace.